Hi, my name is Kathleen Cashel, and I'm presenting joint work with Elke Rudensteiner and Lane Harrison on many-rank, multi-attribute, and intersectional fairness for consensus ranking. This work is motivated by the fact that rankings are a ubiquitous approach to decision-making, and they're frequently used in extremely consequential domains. For instance, when deciding how much bonus money to distribute amongst employees, a company may rank all the employees in a department and use that to allot different amounts of bonuses to different employees. Likewise, when allocating merit scholarships, applicants to a university might be ranked in order to determine how much merit scholarship each student receives. However, the reality is that these decisions are not made in isolation by a single individual. Often in practice, it's a whole committee working together. A common approach to making a decision by committee is to take a set of candidates and then have every member of the committee rank that set of candidates, and then the committee works together and huddles over these rankings to create a single consensus ranking that they can more or less all agree with. But the reality is these candidates are not just names, they're people that have identities. So in this instance, on this candidate database, we have candidates with race and gender identities. Now, these identities or attributes may be legally protected from non-discrimination, where non-discrimination means that different groups should be treated comparably in the outcome. So different racial and gender groups are not treated differently or disadvantaged. And there are more protected attributes simply than race and gender. There are things like age, disability, religion, nationality, etc., that different domains may choose to protect. And when considering multiple protected attributes, we must consider intersectionality. That is, that these combined identities and protected attributes compound to create different societal discrimination structures. So things like the fact that Black women and white women should be treated equally and not looking at simply just race and gender. So without considering fairness, the committee risks introducing an aggregating bias into their final consensus ranking decision. This is what motivates this paper. Specifically, we introduce the multi-attribute fair consensus ranking problem. That is, we have a set of candidates with multiple protected attributes, and they're being ranked by multiple members of a committee. And now the committee wants to create a consensus ranking that is both fair with respect to the protected attributes such as race and gender and their intersection. And they also want this consensus ranking to represent the rankings of the committee in as much as possible. And we abbreviate this as the MFCR problem. So how do we solve the MFCR problem? The first step is the proposed pairwise fairness criteria, which we term many-rank fairness. In the paper, we introduce a series of metrics that capture for any given ranking if a group is fairly treated. Then at a higher level, if the protected attribute, such as race, has all groups comparably treated and if intersectional fairness is achieved. These metrics culminate in our proposed many-rank fairness criteria. So looking at the example on the slide, the first component of many-rank fairness captures the fair treatment of protected attributes. So there's the one shown in teal, such as the women group or the Alaskan Native group. Then the second component captures the fair treatment of intersectional groups, so things like the white men group and the black men group. And then taken together, many-rank fairness assesses fairness across multiple protected attributes and their combined intersection. Next, we utilize many-rank as an objective in our MFCR algorithm since it can both quantify fairness and enforce fairness. We introduce a parameter depicted as delta in the slide that bounds many-rank fairness and facilitates tuning between complete fairness and not constraining the consensus ranking to be fair whatsoever. We designed a new family of algorithms specifically for solving the MFCR problem, the first of which is Fair Kemeny, which formulates many-rank fairness on the Kemeny integer optimization problem. However, regular Kemeny without considering fairness is an NP-hard problem. Thus, we designed additional algorithms to increase efficiency by utilizing popular fairness-unaware consensus methods. That is, we extend the Copeland, Schulz, and Borda consensus ranking methods to satisfy the many-rank fairness criteria. So do our MFCR methods work? Highlighting an experiment from the paper, We find that only many rank fairness ensures the desired level of fairness for both protected attributes and their intersection when compared to other fairness approaches. So on the top left, without considering any fairness whatsoever, we find that the protected attribute groups, such as gender, aren't treated fairly, nor are the intersections treated fairly. When considering only intersectionality, that is the top right, we find that certain gender groups aren't treated fairly. And when considering only the protected attribute groups, we find that the intersections aren't treated fairly. Thus, we find that there is no fairness for free. So you truly need the approach of many rank fairness to protect both the protected attribute groups and the intersectional groups alike. Turning to a case study on student merit aid, we find that our MFCR solutions are able to remove disparities across different student groups. So we find that when taking a consensus ranking that does not consider fairness, men are significantly overfavored in receiving merit aid, and students that receive subsidized lunch and Native Hawaiian students receive significantly less aid compared to the other groups, compared to when we utilize the MFCR methods that are able to remove these disparities and mitigate this bias. In conclusion, this work formulates the open multi-attribute fair consensus ranking problem. We design the many rank group fairness criteria, and we develop a series of algorithms that, utilizing this many rank fairness criteria, are able to solve the MFCR problem. Our experimental evaluation demonstrates the efficacy of both our fairness criteria along with the efficacy and efficiency of our MFCR methods. Thank you so much.